Yeah. This is the moment all we have been waiting for. It is a great honor for me to introduce Julius Muyumban. As I speak, he will start sharing his screen. Julius. Julius is one person I knew less than 3 months ago. Julius hailed from Uganda. Julius. Julius was a small boy when he was discovered. And through some good-hearted people, he was given scholarship to UK, Wales, of all places. I love Wales, but don't get me wrong. And with the kind of cultural challenges a small boy at his age have to encounter, with the kind of challenges taken away from home, he has to endure. And for the kind of challenges as they go into a very head on the shoulder type of young man, he has to encounter. What did he do? He went back to Uganda and tried to pay things forward. So with that, I like to pass the mic to Julius. Julius, all yours.
First of all, thank you so much, Mr. Chipeng, for this wonderful opportunity to share my story. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all that are listening to my story. 11 years ago, if someone told me that I'll be where I am standing right now, I'll take it as a joke or something that it's impossible, because I had no hope. I didn't know where my life would be. Plus, the area where I lived in, it was so difficult. You never predicted what to make it tomorrow, if you make it tomorrow. So please join me to go through my story. Wait a second. The slides froze. There we go. Sorry, I apologize for that. My story began in 2002 when my parents, they divorced, and my grandmother decided to adopt me because they were unable to look after me. My grandmother, this lovely lady, she adopted me. She gave me a new hope. She gave me a new home, and then she gave me a new life. This is a neighborhood where I grew up. It's called Katwe. It has around 300,000 people living in this area. There is no access to clean water. There is barely electricity flowing, and disease, high crime rates, those were the key issues that affected everyone. You know, life back then was so difficult because I was unable, to flourish as a young man. I had no dreams, and the environment around me, did not allow me to succeed because there was no opportunities. And all these people used to live in a small shanty town, houses packed together. It was very, very risky, when it comes to safety and the health being of people. We used to live in a one-roomed house, as you see, with my four siblings, me and my grandmother. Life was so difficult because I remember during rain season, when it rained, this house used to flood. And in a worst case scenario, when it was nighttime, in the middle of the night, used to rain, came everywhere, and then we had to clear out all the water. And I used to wake up every day and walk around 1 hour to the nearest town to go to look for money. I used to collect a liter on the street, and I used to earn as high as 7 pence in British pound. And I used to walk back home, usually in the dark, so that I can take food back home, to feed to feed my grandmother and my other siblings. Life was so challenging during this period, and it was like a survival for the fittest because you could get food today and you're not guaranteed to get food tomorrow. So it was so uncertain. This is when the miracle happened in 2007, when I remember it was a Saturday morning. We were playing football with my brother and my other siblings, plus all other local friends around. And I saw my grandmother. She came with two gentlemen from Link International. They entered our house, they took pictures, and they were shocked by the living conditions and the terrible situation our family was living in. And they decided they need to step in to help us because the life we were living in was so unacceptable in what standards. So just to give you a brief background about Link International, Link International is a UK-based organization that works with St. David's College. They help out they help out communities in Uganda and across Africa to empower them to use the resources around them so they can sustain themselves. So in 2010, another miracle happened. Link International, they built us a house in the suburbs of Kampala, and our life changed. My grandmother, she was so happy because she dreamed to have her own house for years, and that dream was answered by God about 50, 60 years later. We were moved in this house. Life was so much better. We had fresh air, we had open space, we had clean water. We accessed so much that we did not have before. We felt so happy. My grandmother, she was so excited to see how life changed and us. And then another miracle happened when I heard that I was given the opportunity to study in the UK at St. David's College through Link International. I was shocked because in my entire life, I never, ever imagined going to the UK to study. I never, ever imagined that. So having that news really shocked me. I was so happy. I cried. The happiness and joy was unimaginable on this day when I found out. So this is St. David's College in North Wales, a private boarding school, which gave me the opportunity through Link International to study on a 5-year scholarship. And this is here I am on my first day at St. David's College in 2011. And I remember on this day, I didn't made it because I traveled from Uganda to North Wales. I took 2 flights from Uganda to London Heathrow, then from London Heathrow to Manchester, all by myself. Keep in mind, I've never been on aircraft before. I've never had anything like that. So getting there was like a miracle itself. So here I am. I made it to St. David's College, and through the love and the kind family in North Wales, which accepted me, to be part of their family. They looked after me very well. They gave me food. They gave me shelter. I was thrived. With the people, the environment. However, I did struggle in the beginning. I struggled so much, and one of the key reasons I couldn't speak English. That was challenging because I remember entering my first lesson and I could not understand a word what the teacher was saying. Another result, I was predicted to fail my exams because I was unable to understand English. And they did these tests. They realized that I'm not going to be able to make it. I was so heartbroken. I remember going back to my room after school and I cried. And I felt like, come on, Julius, you can't do this. You are given this opportunity, you cannot fail. Failure is not an option you have. Look back where you came from. You have a huge responsibility ahead of you. You cannot fail. Therefore, I decided the only way to get out that was to work hard. I worked 3 times harder than any student at St. David's College. I got support I needed from staff, and I utilized every material around me. I worked hard and I passed all my GCSEs. I passed higher than anyone, higher than most people in my class. And on the day when I passed my GCSEs, I opened up my results, and the headmaster was extremely proud that I overcame all these challenges. I proved the system wrong that predicted me to fail through hard work. And I remember my early years, I struggled with food. The African food is different to the Western food. So it was a bit challenging to accept, the food there. The weather as well was so cold, because in Uganda, temperatures are like 25 degrees to 30 degrees. And then in UK, in Wales, in winter, the temperature could drop down to, minus 15 degrees. And that was too cold for me. The cultural difference, the mindsets of the people, all that was a huge challenging. It was a huge challenge, but I did not give up, because I knew failure was never ever the option available for me. So I worked so hard and I pushed everything. I used everything I could have, because I knew that where I came from, there was no hope, and I am the only key, to be able to overcome all these difficulties. To support my family, to help my community, I was the only key, and I cannot fail. Failure was not an option. So I worked extremely hard to overcome these, and I did flourish after some time getting used to the system. So here, I remember coming back to Uganda during summer holidays and Christmas holidays. I remember my first summer when I came back. I went to the local community where I grew up, and I went to the village where my mother was born as well. And people used to ask me, please give us money, give us money. You came from the UK, give us money. And I'm like, if I give these people money, the little money I had as pocket money is not sustainable. And I realized to be able to help them, I have to create some initiative, like a business plan or some sort of a project that to help them overcome poverty. And that's when I designed this goat project, where I gave out goats to the families. And this project worked for 5 years, and I was able to give out goats to 500 families in rural areas and some urban areas. This goat family was, its intention was to help poor families to overcome poverty. When these goats, when they reproduce, they can sell the babies to get money to send kids to school, to buy food, to buy clothes, all that. And I remember how I raised the money to get this project going was during my time in the UK. I used to do fundraising. I used to do car wash. I used to go to the church. I used to give speech to the people about this project, and people funded. So I ended up raising over £2,000 to get this project going. And then I discovered a hobby when I was in the UK at St. David's College. There was an activity called kickboxing. I really, really enjoyed that, because back in days when I was a child, I used to get bullied. We were so small, and these big guys used to bully us, and we couldn't defend ourselves. So when I went to St. David's College and I saw kickboxing as an activity that was offered, I was so excited to learn the discipline, self-defense, and I did really well in that. I really enjoyed it. So during my time in summer holidays, when I went back to Uganda, I didn't just do community projects. I visited local schools. I visited about 5 local schools. The number of students I cannot count, probably roughly over maybe 1,000, because these local schools are huge. And I was training them, I was teaching them fitness, on how to stay fit and healthy, self-defense, and most importantly, teaching them discipline. Because in kickboxing, it's not all about fighting, it's about discipline. I did this in about 5 local schools, and yeah, everyone enjoyed it. I pushed my passion in fitness and kickboxing forward because I was spotted by one of my coaches as being talented. So he signed me up for these competitions, the British kickboxing competition, under 17 and under 2000, in 2013 I was 15 years old, in under 15, and then in 2015 I competed under 17 because I was 17 years old. I did really well. I pushed myself hard. I trained hard. I studied hard, and I managed, to go to the finals. And I got a silver and bronze medalist, by pushing myself hard. Because I enjoyed it. I had passion. I know it was difficult, but I worked hard, and I got a silver and bronze medal. And then here I am, finishing up St. David's College. I worked hard academically. I was putting in a lot of effort after what I was told by the teachers, but you cannot do this, you're going to fail. Remember, like I said earlier, failure was not an option for me. Failure was never been an option. So I worked hard, and my teacher nominated me to the outstanding BTech business student across the UK. This competition is done every single year, and all the schools in the UK, they register for this competition, and you could get maybe around 20,000 students are being nominated across the UK for this award. But with my hard work, with my past experience, I won this award, and that was a life-changing moment. This award was presented by Peter Jones at the House of Parliaments in the UK. And here is the next Everest, Bangor University. Bangor University is known for its marine biology. It's like the best in the UK for marine biology and top 5 in the world. This university gave me opportunity or a scholarship after I performed so well at St. David's College. And here I am, my second year, I joined the Enactors Society, which was a society that was helping people doing projects across the globe. So I used my GOAT project and another homeless project in Wales, and we competed in national and regional events. We went all the way down to London, and yeah, we did really well. With my hard work, with my leadership, I was able to take the team to the highest point they've ever been on a final in London. And I remember presenting on stage in a group of like 1,000 audience people watching, judges. That was a life-changing event as well. I managed to thrive on that, and we did really well. We did not win. We went to the quarterfinals, but that's the highest the universe has ever been on. And then here I am, graduating with a first-class degrees in BA Business. I worked so hard for this, really, really, really hard. And I remember going to the library every single day, study for about 6 to 5 hours. Plus, I had a small part-time job as a security bouncer in our local clubs. I used to do everything, fitness, all that. I kept up to date with everything, and I worked extremely hard. And I remember few of the library security, they used to call me the library king because of my presence in the library every day. And then when I found out that I became the best student in the business finance, that really changed me. And this, I reflected back to my grandmother, because every time I think about her, I always think about the delicious meals she made for me. But unfortunately, she passed away in 2018. This was so sad for me, so sad, because she was the only person that I wanted her to be there for me. Because without her, my journey would have been impossible. She said she gave me the best foundation to work hard. It was so heartbreaking for her not to be around to see my success. But as a strong Christian, I always believe that she's in a safe place, and she's up there in the clouds, see everything that I've achieved, and she's extremely proud. My grandmother, you did so much for me, but it was so unfortunate that you were unable to see my success. But with the love of God and love of Jesus Christ, may your soul rest in peace. So moving forward, after graduating at Bangor University, I came back to Uganda, and I was given an opportunity to join Video East Africa. Video East Africa, Uganda, is the fifth largest oil farm in the world. So far it's just been over a year since I joined. The environment is so good at BDO, and I'm very curious about learning and development, and I see myself thriving as a professional, grow and develop and go to another stage of my career. So the only way forward, based on what I've been through and based on what I achieved. Remember, I came from nothing, I came from nothing, but standing where I am today, I feel like it's been a big miracle. Personally, I did not believe in miracles, but after I see my life, where I came from and where I am now, I start to believe there is a big creator ahead of us. Miracles happened, because who knew on this very day I'll be standing where I am today? It's just a miracle. It's a miracle. This is where I believe in life, anything is possible. Just hard work and determination. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I'll be welcoming questions in the end. Thank you, Mr. Chipeng.
Thank you, Julius. Don't go away. I see a lot of questions coming in to ask you about your background. You probably do not know this. There are many parents who are watching together with their children.
That's right.
And they certainly will ask you for some advice going forward.